Okay, I'm hoping very hard to not catch on fire right now. Anyways, you might be asking yourself, why am I looking like this? First of all, do you really need a reason to look like this, to behave like this? Second of all, it's 2 days before one of the biggest holidays in Ukraine, which is, well, New Year. So when I was brainstorming this idea, I wrote it in my very beautiful, oh my god, why am I like this? Basically, I have some notes, okay, in a notebook, whatever. So we're gonna talk about why I love my Ukrainian accent, but mostly it's gonna be why you should not be embarrassed of your accent. English is always viewed so critically from the point of view of native speakers and those who are more efficient in it towards those who are still learning it. I feel like English always has this weird stigma around it, doesn't it? Literally, I feel like it's the sole reason why am I doing this video, because I was watching a good YouTuber, and I know he was not meaning to do it with, like, he didn't mean it in a bad way, but he was watching some videos of a Spanish woman filming videos in English, and he said something along the lines of, like, if you struggle so much with English and you kind of stumble every 4 words, why don't you just film in Spanish? And he's a great dude. I'm not gonna name him, you know, I'm not gonna shade him or whatever. He's a great dude, and I know he didn't mean it with, like, I know he didn't mean it with, I know he didn't mean it in a bad way, but it just rubbed me in such a wrong way. I just had to make a video of why I'm not embarrassed of my Ukrainian accent, and why you should not be embarrassed of any accent that you have in any language that you're learning. You know, almost like half a year ago, I made this post on Instagram, which do follow me if you wanna. Oh my goodness. Since it is such an international language, it's kind of held in a higher regard than any other language, you know. So it's so weird to me that learning English would put so much pressure on ourselves, even though it's so far away from most of our native languages. I've started learning English when I was 8 years old, which is 1 year later. So, and obviously, you know, I studied language acquisition in university, and I learned that children usually pick up very easily on the languages from the ages of, like, don't quote me on that, but up till 7. So basically, when I started learning English when I was 8 years old, I was 1 year already too late to speak it as a native, or to not develop such a strong accent based on my native languages, which are Ukrainian and Russian. So it was not like a school education, it was just like classes outside, like in a language school, you know, outside of school, outside of like curriculum in public school, because public school sucks in Ukraine. Maybe once I will make a video about that, but I really don't want to, because it's very sad, and Ukraine sucks in general. It isn't a natural environment for me, like I didn't have natural English environment, so I would listen and speak and learn English twice a week, and I got to the point where I was able to understand spoken English without subtitles, without slowing down, only when I was 15. So it took me good 7 years of consistent studying to even just start to comprehend spoken English, and it took me at least, like, I feel like even, yeah, and it took me 4 more years to even have the confidence to talk in English, to communicate and to, oh my god, I remember first time when I had like an English dream. I know that a lot of people who study foreign languages, they know that, you know, when you can think in the language that you're studying and when you have dreams in the language that you're studying, your brain has finally developed enough connections inside of it, so it's finally at the point where it recognizes the language and embraces the language. You know, got to the point of being fairly good at English at 15. I kind of felt like it was not enough, because once again, English is held in such a big regard that unless you're perfect at it, unless you speak it without an accent, then you are truly an intelligent person and hardworking person. Basically, I remember like I was watching videos like accent reduction videos, and I heard like people talking that people comprehend better, like especially native speakers will comprehend better somebody that is spoken without an accent than with an accent. And I was like, it just pissed me off so much. I don't know how much true that is, but I don't care anymore. I also was so scared that if I stopped learning English, if I stopped listening all the time to English videos, to English TV shows, to English music, and reading only English text, I would lose the progress that I have made. And it was such a terrifying thing for me, because I worked so hard on it, because I valued my knowledge of English so much, because it kind of verified me as an intelligent person. And you know, finally this year I kind of got to the point where I'm like, I am Ukrainian. You know, I am Ukrainian. I love reading Ukrainian books. I love reading translated Ukrainian books. I love going to the movies and seeing translated versions. Even though that I will go back home and someday watch the original English version, it's such a beautiful experience to hear Ukrainian spoken, to hear great Ukrainian actors performing and you know, doing voiceovers for the English movies. It's a wonderful thing. And I was born in Ukraine, and I have known Ukrainian and Russian even before I knew about the existence of an English language, even before I cared about it. For years I've been embarrassed about being Ukrainian, having an accent, because it felt like I was an impostor, because unless I was perfect at English, I was not good enough. Because I felt like I was trying to sneak into Great Britain and pretend to be a native English speaker when I was not. Also, when I got to the university, I was an English major, okay? I was studying English literature and English language. I dropped out, obviously. Or maybe it's not obvious, I don't know, I don't care. But basically, I just... in the university were a lot of teachers would like shame our pronunciations. We had a specific class which was accent reduction and reducing our accent to British accents. So we were allowed in the space of university to communicate and to express ourselves only in proper British ways, because British was considered a standard, an icon, something to reach forward. And I've been trying to do it for years and I can't. I don't care anymore. Maybe I could spend like a few more years doing nothing but accent reduction, and finally one day I will be able to talk to somebody, you know, but it's so pointless to me. It means nothing, because native speakers still will know that I'm not a native speaker. And why does it matter? Why would it matter that a native speaker can tell that I'm not a native speaker? Which brings me to my second point. Why do we, non-English speakers, learn English is not to communicate with native speakers. It really is not. Personally for me, English opened a lot of information that is not available in both of my native languages because it has not been translated. When I was 15, only thanks to English, I've discovered LGBTQ plus community, I discovered feminism, and I learned about gender equality, I learned about race and racism, I learned about human rights, I learned a lot more history of the world. Things, information on LGBTQ plus community, gender equality, and gender issues, especially because in Ukraine it's such a big problem with chronic sexism all over the country. In any field and any social field, you will find sexism displayed all the time. Our educational system fails us to educate us on the most important topics, but English gives us the ability to access that information just because it's not available for us, because it's not been translated, it's not been made accessible to a lot of non-English speakers. Aside from information, it also allowed me to meet so many wonderful people all over the world, non-English speaking, in non-English speaking countries, because for us, I guess, because we've learned this language to be able to communicate with the world itself, because it's such a privilege, it's such a gigantic privilege, because if you don't know English, it's very hard to communicate with a lot of people outside your own country, outside of the languages that you speak. Unless you know English, it's very hard to connect with somebody and really have a conversation. I've met so many wonderful people, and we had to learn this language, not because we wanted to be seen as British or American, but because we wanted the opportunity and the ability to communicate with somebody who we would not be able to communicate otherwise. So we had to develop these abilities to to be able to translate our thoughts and whatever is our thoughts and messages into a different language, because it was not possible to communicate it to somebody else now in our native languages. I went on a tangent. Okay, I enjoyed it. I like speaking. Let's start this new year with acceptance, not only towards ourselves but towards others, and recognizing their efforts and their struggles and their achievements. Because wherever you're watching this in English, and I don't know if English is your first language or not, but it's still, because if I were to speak Ukrainian, you probably would not understand me unless you're Ukrainian, which defines my point, but you know what I mean. Languages is great. Having accent is mostly unavoidable, and it's okay. They are not to be ashamed of, they are not to be shamed also. They just very specific way you pronounce some words, and it's okay. It's fine. If you're learning any language, it's wonderful, good for you. It's so cool. It's so great. I'm really glad for you. I'm really proud of you. It's cool. Happy New Year. Hope you have a good one. Let's all hope it's better than the last one, because you know what I mean. Anyways, yes. This is all. If this made sense, leave me a comment. Maybe don't. Do what you want. It's your life. Anyways, go follow me. Go follow me on Instagram if you wanna, and don't if you don't wanna. Anyways, I'll see you in a new year. Bye. Oh my god, I found another one. Look at this. Look at this. Look how many I have.